So, in my opinion, yes, obviously dosages are pretty high in bodybuilding. No, bodybuilding, as he mentioned, was never particularly a safe sport. What's up, YouTube? Stephen at CarterFitness and Nutrition. So we have obviously heard, obviously it's probably multiple videos or so, or yeah, something I found. So it's about Arnold, obviously. But before we continue with the video, please subscribe to our channel, like and comment to our videos if you can. Alright, that would really help us. I really would appreciate that. And we will obviously provide more videos like this, fitness videos, how to train. Obviously, we've got a series of things coming up soon. I would like to do like a PD series. Would like to do a workout series. Okay, so all this stuff we'll be able to do as long as obviously our channel's running and stuff. Okay, so yeah, so we do appreciate you subscribers, likes, and all the comments. So thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go through Arnold's cycle that he reviewed. So recently on a video, there's been a few websites actually it's been displayed on since he mentioned it, and there's a what he's mentioned recently about what he took back in the golden era, which was basically when he competed in the Olympia. So he's, I'm pretty sure, 7 times Mr. Olympia. He was humongous. He was a big guy, right? So he was an open competitor. Obviously, classic physique wasn't around then. That came in 2012. So yeah. So Arnold competed alongside others. Like Frank Zane, I think Tom Platz, I'm pretty sure. Some other big guys alongside there. Obviously, I'm not a massive, I ain't got the huge knowledge of the golden era, but I do know there were a lot of them. Okay. Yes. So let's go over Arnold's cycle of what exactly he did. So he quoted, which was quite recently, that he took 100 milligrams of testosterone with 15 milligrams of Dianabol, also known as D-bol. So, yes, when it comes to something like obviously his size and stuff, 100 milligrams definitely, yeah, it definitely doesn't contribute to that sort of muscle mass that he had. Obviously, 100 milligrams testosterone is more like a low testosterone therapy. Like even like people like Greg Doucette himself, he's on 140 milligrams a week, I believe. Of testosterone replacement therapy, which he takes every 5 days. So, I mean, yeah, it's like 100 milligrams every 5 days, roughly. So 100 milligrams a week for someone at Arnold's size is, yeah, completely unachievable to be able to achieve a physique like that. Obviously, if you look at him in the Olympia, he was mind-blowingly huge. He was like 235 pounds. And you ain't going to reach that with more of a natural sort of testosterone. Like, for example, like a lot of people could be on testosterone therapy of 120 and could be in the range of 5, 6, 700 milligrams deciliter, depending on you, obviously. Like, some people can be on 200 milligrams testosterone and have the same amount. Okay. So, yeah, more likely he was on much higher than that. Probably about 5, 6, 700 megs of testosterone per week. Obviously, inject them twice per week, half. He could have been on 800, 900, maybe for his size, some from obviously around 1,000. So when you go over the Anabol as well, I mean, 15 milligrams, yeah, it's still probably, it definitely isn't enough. Obviously, back then they were prescribing 5 milligram capsules. So usually, nowadays it's like 10. Sometimes you can get 20 in some. But yeah, so he used to dose it, he said, 3 times per day. I'm pretty sure, yeah, for 3 times per day. Obviously, a half-life of Dianabol is a lot shorter than most other steroids, so obviously 3 times per day does sound about right. However, 15 milligrams of Dianabol with 100 tests definitely isn't enough to maintain or even build a size like that. So obviously he did mention before he had used Primobolan, which is obviously a mild anabolic steroid you can take. Well, obviously very freaking expensive, but you can take a lot of it. But yeah, I do believe that he took more testosterone than he said. I do believe he took more Dianabol than he said. Obviously, there's bodybuilders nowadays that are taking like up round about 50 to 100 megs of D-bol per day. And I mean, some of these guys are probably as big or even bigger than Arnold. So you think of it, right? So you think 15 milligrams. That's probably more of a beginner's dose. And then they up the dose to 20, then they up the dose to 30, if you can see what I mean. So, I mean, 15 milligrams is definitely isn't enough. Obviously, I can respect the idea of the estrogenic effect, the aromatizing effects. Obviously, with 100 megs a test, 15 D-bol, you're not really going to get gyno from that. Like, it's pretty low. So, obviously, they didn't have that back then. But this is where, when he mentioned about Primo can also act as more of a, like an AI in some sorts, but not very much. But it can help to bring the estrogen down. So, obviously, Primo would have been a very ideal compound to add into that. So if he ran, let's 500-600 testosterone, maybe with 50 D-bol, if he ran like a gram of like Primobolan, obviously that probably would have counteracted the effects of estrogen. But yes, there was another quote mentioned by Arnold himself. Bodybuilding always was considered a safe sport, but now it's not. Now people are dying. They're dying because of overdoses of drugs, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're listening to charlatans. If I want to get medical advice from a doctor, I go to UCLA or go to Cleveland Clinic. So, in my opinion, yes, obviously dosages are pretty high in bodybuilding. No, bodybuilding, as he mentioned, was never particularly a safe sport. We do all respect that. Obviously, I'm a competitive bodybuilder myself. I do know the consequences. Obviously, when you go to the enhanced, the dark side of bodybuilding, I do understand that and I respect it. But when it comes to, obviously, is it ever been safe? No. Obviously, bodybuilders way back in the day, before testosterone came out back in the 1940, obviously, back then it was completely different, like there was natural only, like there wasn't any such thing as, enhanced bodybuilding. But as time has progressed, they introduced testosterone, Dianabol, obviously you had it like equipoise and stuff like that, so that is when it all came in. So obviously then bodybuilders started experimenting because they were legal, okay? So obviously bodybuilders back then, yes, I would say they're partly different to now compared to the bodies like the stocky bodybuilders now, especially as you go back like Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler. They were quite big guys, you say. Well, massive. I was underestimating them, really. And yeah, I mean, the amount of gear they would have took was probably pretty ridiculous. I mean, yeah, probably about 1.5 grams a test. Probably at max. And then obviously then you're running in the other things like the Primo, maybe some Mastron and stuff like that. So, well, way more than that, obviously. But you get the gist, right? So, yeah, I would definitely say Arnold took more than he said. Obviously, I'm not against Arnold for trying to come out with something like this because he's trying to prevent others from taking a lot. I understand that. But however, when it comes to saying 100 tests, 15 Dianabol, it's kind of underestimating, and it's kind of like saying you can achieve this physique by taking this much, and it's not possible. Like, you can gain muscle without testosterone, obviously, as in when it comes to a natural bodybuilder, you can gain much muscle until you hit that limit. Okay, that's probably 10 to 12 years. It depends on your physique. Some people can go 20, like Craig Doucette, 20 years natural. That, obviously, you can go pretty far, right? But when it comes to taking 100 milligrams of testosterone, you're practically maintaining that kind of physique. Like, if you hit your natural limit, you're not going to go any further. And then you add the 15 milligrams of Dianabol, maybe you'll push it another, let's say 15 pounds of muscle, maybe 10, maybe less. I mean, it depends on your genetics, obviously, your response. But that's about it. You won't get any bigger, right? So obviously Arnold is way, way beyond that natural genetics kind of like limit. Okay, he's way beyond that. So yeah, so I would definitely say anywhere 500 plus test. And then obviously Dianabol could have been around 50 to 60. But obviously back then he didn't have AIs like a Arimidex. They didn't have like tamoxifen, Aromacin, okay? They didn't have that kind of stuff. So obviously back then they had to try and manage it with other compounds. So obviously Primobolan would have come in there pretty heavy. Another one, Masteron perhaps, maybe Trembolone. Obviously compounds like that would have come in and counteracted those estrogenic effects. So that is the only way I'm pretty sure they would have managed it. Because like I said, AIs, they replaced anabolics for like breast cancer in the future from then. So it was like 1970s, 80s, I'm pretty sure, maybe 90s they brought those in. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I think, obviously, especially as we've had others, I've seen other videos, I've looked at websites, and I think, yeah, for sure he's taken more than what he said. Okay, yeah, so please do visit Manic Muscle Labs. Obviously, they've got loads of supplements on there, ranging from natural health supplements to performance enhancing supplements, natural supplements like nootropics. Obviously, you look at test boosters. Okay, you look at like supplements like ashwagandha. If you want to look at supplements like Tonkat Ali, all right, Korean ginseng, all these kind of stuff to increase your natural testosterone. And then you've got the ones beyond that, like the selective androgen receptor modulators, to push it above the limit. Okay, so that's Manic Muscle Labs. I'll put that in the description. Please do click on it and take a look. And obviously, if you like something, then please do buy. But through the link. So please subscribe to our channel. Please like and comment to our video. That would be fantastic. I really would appreciate that. Please check out our Instagram at CarterFitness90, and we'll see you in the next one.